Hello everybody, welcome to episode 67 of the Contest Realm podcast. If you don't know and you don't know where we're available on SoundCloud, we're available on Spotify, iTunes podcasts and YouTube. There's a playlist going, check it out. Now, it's been an incredible week, not so incredible week when it comes to Kabam and consistency with game stuff, but it's been a week. If you don't know already, I am joined by my co-host Dan of frontlinemcoc. You can find him at www.frontline.home.blog and as well at frontlinemcoc on Twitter, which you need to get to 3,000 followers. We need to get him up there, so go make sure I'm following. Hiya, Dan.
Hey, Rich. Yeah, I'm 11 away from the magic number, 3,000. So hopefully we can get that done this weekend. But yeah, like you said, it has been a crazy week in MCOC with this update and a lot of new events and information. And thankfully, for the first time in a long time, we have a guest today to help us break it all down.
Absolutely. So first of all, we're going to introduce him. So now, here's the thing. He's a growing channel, putting in amazing effort and work. I personally recommend his damage comparison series, his balanced and logical tier lists, and his in-depth champion overviews and deep dives. And this is really cool. Like, it's really cool to have Kingslayer on the podcast. So make sure to go to his channel. He's at 7.4k subs, so try and get him up as high as possible. So go and sub. Links are in the bio to him. Welcome to the podcast, Kingslayer.
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me.
No problem. It's really cool to kind of get somebody. This is our first international person, I think, Dan, is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's our first person from, I don't know if we've had any guests from England. I'm trying to remember. I think they've mostly been American. It's certainly our first guest from the Indian community. Yeah,
which I think is fantastic because, like, if a lot of you are listening from India, Asian countries, and others, so I think this is the kind of the great thing about the community is knowing people around the world, because it's international. One thing I want to find out is, like, how are things at the moment in India? Because I know COVID was like absolutely massive. How have you managed to keep safe, keep playing at the moment?
Yeah, so the first wave here wasn't too bad, but the second wave was huge, and right now the cases are going down, but it's still like 40,000 daily cases. And the vaccination process is going pretty strong. Personally, I've gotten the first dose. My family, like my parents and stuff, have gotten both their doses. So overall, like, hopefully we won't see a third wave and the cases will continue to drop.
Brilliant. Have you, and also, like, when it comes to say the game standpoint, have you managed to just like keep that as a focus? 'Cause a lot of people like myself or like many others, just a case of like having something like a game to kind of focus on takes your mind away from the stuff. Are you still managing to like get like good amount of playing in at the same time?
Yeah, like we still are kind of like it's not a full lockdown, but there are a lot of restrictions and we are still at homes. So for sure, like, the gaming time has increased. Because time, like free time in general, has increased so much that I have been spending a lot of it. Like COVID, it was actually the reason I started the channel, because I had nothing to do and I was really bored.
That's good. I think a lot of people are finding that it's like it's a good time to focus on something, and that's one of the great things. So there's a question that actually answers, which is great, because your channel is incredibly unique. And one thing, and not to kind of like say to other creators when they start producing content for MCOC as being like copy and paste, what I like about your channel is you put a unique kind of like twist on things and have things other people aren't doing. So as I said, like, you should go and sub to Kingslayer and give him support, because it's definitely what kind of made you or motivated you to come up with the ideas for videos that you have, or did you look at an opportunity in the community?
So, like, I've been watching YouTube videos since like the last 5 years, watching MCOC videos since the last 5 years, and like I've seen what kind of thing. Like I observed a lot of channels. I saw what's working for them, what's not working for them, and then from there, I kind of like I watch a lot of channels like vidIQ and stuff like that,
Yeah.
YouTube tips basically, and. Everybody basically said that if you do the same thing as the people who are already at the top, then you'll never be at the top. So, yeah, have to do something different. Have to find the niche inside, like whatever topic you want to pursue on YouTube, and that's kind of what I tried to do. First, I started with damage comparisons and stuff, and they didn't do super well initially, but
Yeah.
they were easy to make, and the people who did watch enjoyed them.
Yeah.
So I continued, and yeah, like right now, I think the first big thing was the boss rushes that happened last year, especially the Omega boss rush. That's still my most watched video with roughly 40,000 views. And like at that time, all those views did come from like within the first 2 weeks of that video being released. And at that time, I had like 800 subscribers. So that was huge. And after that, a lot of my previous videos, people started watching them, and yeah, that's just happens. And even like when I was researching, I watched the channels, and there's always this one video that ends up doing really, really well, and then that starts your channel. And what I realized was that. It's not about getting lucky, it's about continuing, like it's about consistency, and
Yeah.
eventually you will get lucky.
Yeah, fantastic. And the thing is, it shows. So if anybody's looking for, an idea of like YouTube, is exactly nail on the head as Kingslayer said. It's like you've got to look for opportunities. You've got to keep something. You've got to put something fresh on, and you've got to keep consistent with it. So that's, if anybody is thinking about YouTube, go with that kind of mantra and that structure of things, and you'll do great. The Indian community is a massive community. I think it's a lot bigger than people realize. Have you managed to like meet up with anybody, or of some? I suppose like being recognized is kind of a difficult thing because you don't put your face out there. Is that correct?
I've shown my face in a few videos.
Okay.
Yeah. Like in India, is like the population we have. It's pretty hard to get recognized on the streets.
Well, weird thing is for me, I got recognised at a holiday park during COVID when there was like a limited amount. I think you'll be surprised when it happens. You'll be like, "Oh, hello," but I reckon you will do because as I said, your channel's fantastic and is growing in number. So. I want to find out like a take from somebody from the Indian community about the Summoner Showdown, because the disappointing side of things is you're unable to participate in the Summoner Showdown. First of all, would you have liked to have participated in it from the competitive standpoint? And secondly, what's your kind of take on the restrictions and being allowed to it? Is it what's your thoughts?
So personally, I know that I'm not that skilled. I know that I won't really qualify, but it would still be nice if I could try.
Yeah.
And I definitely know a lot of good, very skilled Indian players who could have qualified. So like it's unfortunate that there is a restriction. I'm not sure the reason behind it. I think it was something to do, like they were shipping the equipment to stream or something. Maybe the cost for that was high, or like COVID is going on, so there are more restrictions than usual. But hopefully, like if in the future we'll have more showdowns, then India will be included.
Yeah, it would be really, really nice to have like this feel like more of a kind of a global type. Everybody gets a chance to kind of like to have a go at it. Okay, when did you first get into Marvel Contest of Champions?
So I downloaded the game early 2016, mid 2016 perhaps, and then that's actually a funny story. I was on a train. It was a long train, so I downloaded a few games to keep me busy, and then I realized that MCOC requires internet, and while traveling that was fluctuating. So I ended up not playing the game, and then after a few weeks when I came back, I was uninstalling and I saw MCOC, so I thought I might as well give it a try before uninstalling. And then here we are, I guess. But like initially, I guess a lot of people initially they don't play every single day. They start slow, and then I started playing more for the story, and then alliances and stuff. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Dan, I've been hogging all the time. I don't know if you wanted to jump in with the any of the last questions.
No, Rich. I think you guys are doing.
You got it.
Great, and I want to. I get time to talk every week, so give our guests some airtime.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, what are your favourite champions at the moment? If you can, like, I don't know, name 3 or 3 to 4 or something.
My absolute favorite is definitely Archangel, and it has been Archangel for a very long time. Like, he has aged so well.
Yeah.
Like back in the day when he was released, Iceman was definitely considered the better character of the two, and today I'd say like Archangel. I personally consider him at number 3 or number 4 in the mutant class.
Yeah.
And Iceman is like nowhere close. So he has been aging well, despite. We always get new bleed immune, poison immune champs, but like whenever I'm sorting a team, I just see like whenever the new characters come in event quest, I see if the new bosses are bleed immune, poison immune. If they're not, Archangel is usually the best option. And he just finds my team very frequently.
Yeah.
And, after that, I say Doctor Doom. I have 6-star rank 3, so.
I was gonna say Snap as well. I think we're making Seat Man of Legends very jealous at the moment.
It's interesting the Archangel thing, because you talk about him aging well. I feel like he honestly like aged in reverse in some ways. Like he was great, and then like the knock on him was like like he's situationally like not that good. And then since like Act 7 came out, there's been this huge resurgence of Archangel gameplay that's been awesome to see.
Yeah.
I think as well with the addition of the likes of Apocalypse, we've kind of added we've added this added extra bit of well, not a utility, but kind of extra spike of damage and opportunity. So that's been kind of like, it's good to kind of like add. And I think we've actually covered all of the questions that we wanted to kind of like to ask Kingslayer. Dan, is there anything you want to ask?
No, I think that's about it. And we've got so much to get into with this last update. Because this week has been a doozy.
Yeah.
there is a lot going on. And first off, I just want to see like, how is this parry bug treating everyone? I'm on iOS, and on both my iPad and my iPhone 8, dash in medium attacks are basically unblockable.
Yeah.
When I can parry up close with the light attacks, but the only thing getting me through AQ on my mini account is Luke Cage's dupe ability right now.
Oh yeah. Kingslayer, how have you been finding it with the parry bug?
For me, it's not too bad. It is like I faced it a few times, but I'm in a Map 5 Alliance, and Alliance War is off, so it hasn't been too troubling for me.
Oh, that's good. Do you get what's your experience with the game when it comes to not experience? Yeah, what's your experience with say connection and other things like that in India? Because like I'm from like British European British perspective, and where I live in the country, I don't get like a best experience. But do you play on data a little bit more? Do you get good Wi-Fi? What's kind of like experience?
So for me, I use Wi-Fi. It's pretty fast. It's really fast. So for me, I rarely experience network issues.
Yeah.
But then there are a lot of people who do play on mobile network, and then in India, like if you like, I live in the capital, so mobile network is also pretty good here.
I would say New Delhi's infrastructure is pretty solid, but then I think you're right. There's people that are playing a little bit at distance. That's kind of like not so great. Yeah. I think with the bug situation, I think this has been released on Sunday, but just got something scheduled which is going to cover the. So Command Mike said that they're going to look into Summer of Pain and find out the implications of or how people have experienced it, and there could be some level of either extension, or they're going to try and deal with the implications of the parry bug on Summer of Pain, which I think for people that may be suffering, I mean, this is an easy way. What have you both been using, Kingslayer? What have you been using to take down Darkhawk this week?
I used Magneto, and he just walks over. Like 2 SP3, it's over.
Yeah, that's my plan too. I'm waiting to see if maybe they can get this thing cleaned up this weekend, and do a run with Magneto, and then probably Sentinel to get the robot objective. That is probably going to be my plan. I have a lot of solid robots, but I think he's going to be the best for that fight for me. Did either of you guys do the robot objective yet?
No, I started using Warlock, but I didn't enjoy much of the rotation. But I don't know if it's maybe because I was playing when I wasn't really interested to play it. So maybe at the weekend I'll kind of sit down and go Warlock. Have you earmarked anyone, Kingslayer?
I'll probably be using Sentinel. I've seen a lot of Guillotine 2099 gameplay for that fight, but
I don't have her.
But I don't have her.
Yeah, she's one of those that has evaded me. But this week, the timing of this with Summer of Pain is really rough because this is the first week with the extra objectives, and you have to get all the objectives done to get all the rewards. Now this is just for throne breakers, but if you want to get that top tier of the peak milestones, you have to complete every single objective. So it's something like this where you've only got a week to do it, and some pretty big rewards online for the event. This is a little stressful.
Yeah, it's annoying because it's like a non-miss. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. And so it will be interesting to see how they handle this as far as an extension, or I think an extension might be the easiest way to go. But yeah, I mean, if we don't hear anything by like the end of the weekend, I'm probably just going to power through and do it no matter what, just because the downside risk of like, well, what you don't know, like, is the compensation going to be? Yeah. Is it going to make sense? Are they going to give the extension? Like, I just don't want any sort of last minute disappointment. So
no, there's a lot of risk to this to make a decision, and unfortunately it's like relying on do love you, Kabam, do appreciate it, but at times when it's stuff like this, then there's an inherent risk of you not getting something which is going to be important with the peak milestones this time. Then it's kind of like, well, if you're not going to answer, unfortunately I'm going to have to kind of take my own kind of risk, and if I need to get some revives or get some more units, then I've got to do it. But it's plowing through, fortunately and unfortunately. I just thought of a question I wanted to ask Kingslayer about content creator program. You're in the content creator program, aren't you, the CCP?
Yeah.
I've
been there for like 7-8 months.
Yeah. How was this something that you were aiming to do, or just thought, do you know what, I'll see it out there. It'd be kind of good to kind of just kind of like have a go. And it's great, by the way, because it's good as well, because we're adding more members from different countries to the content creator program, and it's a little bit more international now than it was when it first started. So that's it's great to obviously to have that. Have you found it a good opportunity to make newer videos, different videos?
For sure. So answering your first question, CCP was definitely one of my starting goals. Like because the requirements say you need 500 subs. So I thought my first goal would be to get into the CCP, then to get monetized. It happened in reverse, but like I was at like 1600 subs when I got in the CCP. But anyways, it has definitely helped, especially with the damage comparisons, because in order to make them fair, you want to be running the same masteries, and you want the two characters to be at the same level. And like obviously on the main accounts it's very hard. like you can maybe you can take them to the same rank level, but then signature level also comes in, and there's just so many variables. And the CCP beta is just it helps so much in content creation.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
and you usually do your new champion review as a damage comparison, which I
Yeah.
think is a great way to make it distinctive, because when that embargo drops, there's always like 10 videos going live
Yeah.
on YouTube with people reviewing the champ. So it's good to have a little bit of a different take.
Yeah.
And like with your Hercules one, you're comparing against Captain Marvel movie. So like even before, you watch the video, that sort of sets a tone. Like, okay, like he's picked a big damage cosmic champion to compare Hercules to. Like, what's this going to be about? Like, I should expect to see some big damage from this guy. So
Yeah,
I
that's how
definitely
I
like that.
started doing initially I started the new champion reviews as everyone else makes, but then I realized that those didn't really get that many views, so I turned to the thing that always gets views, and that's damage comparisons.
Yeah, well, you found your thing, so
Yeah,
you
and also like a lot
stick
of
to it.
people already compare characters to the characters that already exist, like
Right,
skill
that's
Corvette,
natural.
for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
so it's like when you've got that, if the comparison's there, like why not make a video about it and like see
Exactly.
if it's true or not. So
Yeah, brilliant. Right, getting back to the stuff that's dropped in the recent update. Well, the update this week. The Summer Fun Summoner event. This is even Kabam.
Rich, how do we do this? Save us. It's so much reading, and it dropped in the middle of the week. We didn't get a CCP preview of it.
No, we didn't.
Like I looked at it, I was like, okay, like I guess I'm just gonna do some fights and see what happens.
I think where is it? One of the people from Kabam said something in particular about this. Next time this will be less confusing, I promise. In brackets, no promises. So you know you're in good hands if that's the case.
That's like the Kabam McKay's trademark soon.
Yeah, it's like sorry, not sorry.
A new one. It's not so much the event; it's like the battle pass elements to it.
Yeah,
and the fact that there's like multiple levels, like that's the part that I'm sure it's clear and it's there. It's just I haven't gotten my head wrapped around it yet.
No, I think it's one of these things of like the passes equal different levels of things, or one is meant to be both are meant to be you get the additional milestones. One extra is that you're allowed 7 days grace period while you kind of, I don't know, making your mind up about stuff, and then there's the extra special objectives of getting more shards. Essentially it's up to you whether or not you spend, or free to play on the matter, and then it's like from a tokens perspective how you spend those tokens, especially from the free to play narrative, how you carefully spend your tokens to get the end goal of, let's hope, the 6-star shards at 6,400 and the 5-star awakening gem. And I've sort of mapped out a process which I was pretty airtight and solid on, except for the mistake of saying that a mistake was that on the spreadsheet I didn't say 6-star signature stones, I just referred to them as 5 sig stones, which is meant to be 5 times 6-star signature stones. But the process is there. Once you get to the paying side of things, it's like you as soon as you get a token, you buy the next one. So it's like you kind of like still. And I think the main thing is if Kabam do this again, they've got to make it clearer, a lot more clearer.
Yeah. I mean, in general, to both of you guys, how do you feel about the idea of the battle pass mechanic coming to MCOC? Because we do see that in a lot of other games.
I think the Summoner Sigil thing was kind of like a battle pass.
Yeah, I thought that as well.
Okay.
And
I guess because this one, it's like it's more like directly tied to the event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like you can do the same, you do the same objectives, but there's extra rewards available. So I mean, it certainly the Summoner Sigil was a step in that direction.
Yeah, I think this for me was like having this. I was like, oh, hang on, right? I was thinking like, well, shouldn't the Sigil have been like rebranded to be the Battle Pass, the MCC Battle Pass, rather than something here? And that was my kind of like issue with it, going like, well, I've got to buy the daily card for the unit deal, which is a good deal, by the way. The Summoner Sigil, which I've always had a shaky feeling towards, because there was some alright stuff in there, and the process now is like, okay, you're building towards that 6-star Scholar, which when before you were not in any kind of way. So adding this extra level now, saying like, okay, it's a 1 month thing, okay, there is actually, if you kind of weigh it up, there's good value to the units you get back based on the double of the milestones. I get it, I see the value. I'm just like, don't we already have something like this before? Is this a way of making money? Of course it is. So I'm a bit kind of like, unsure about it. I probably will buy it because of the unitary value of getting it, but I'm like, I don't know. Kingslayer, are you going to get it, do you think?
Nah, I am probably going to pass. I didn't even pick up anything in the 4th of July thing. So
a lot of people are saying that. What turned you off getting anything from July 4th? Anything in particular you were looking to acquire and it wasn't really there?
I'm not sure. Like recently, I realized that MCOC is really, really expensive. Like you can buy AAA games in less than the. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know. I think maybe it's because I already have a decent 6-star roster that I'm happy with, and I have had pretty bad luck with 6-star Nexuses in the past.
Yeah.
So I just didn't want to gamble for that. Yeah.
I don't blame you. For me, I didn't do July 4th because Tier 5 class Catalyst wasn't really there in the volume I would have liked to have seen. And I'm exactly the same thing. Like, I'm happy with my 6-star roster. Like June of my 6 stars I picked up, I'm on the run of my life when it comes to picking up decent champions. And I've kind of gone like, well, I now need to rank them up, because a lot of them are kind of like rank 1, rank 2-ish maybe. And I'm like, right, I need to get them up. But there's just a lack of Tier 5 CC for me out there. So that's kind of like where I'm up to. Dan, you went all out with the units, didn't you, for July 4th?
I did go all out. I did drop the 18K units that I had stored up. I was sitting on 24K going in. So it's at some point you just got to spend them. So I did do that. I wanted those rank up gems. Wanted the 6-star awakening gem. So went for that. I think it's more of, it wasn't an immediate improvement to my account, but some solid long-term resources. Not a home run from my Nexus crystal. Spider Ham.
So you also got Mephisto, Immortal Hulk, and you awakened your Ronan. So there's some alright stuff in those three, but I definitely share your kind of
I was really hoping for Professor X or Sorcerer Supreme from that 2020 Nexus. Like that would have been the next rank 3. As soon as I pulled it, like where one of those two is going, and it would have solved some big problems for me. Where Professor X is becoming a more and more important champion. We've seen that in the Gauntlet. My 6-star Mystic roster is pretty weak. I've got some okay champs, but I don't have that Mystic that does mystic things the way a Sorcerer or a Symbiote Supreme does. And I've also been playing a lot of Sorcerer Supreme on my mini account as a 4-star. She's been my main Mystic Nullifier for a while on that mini account, and just really fallen in love with her style, her rotation, her ability to heal in the longer fights. So getting her as a 6-star would have been a huge win. So missed out on that.
Yeah, it's these little things that, like, as soon as you get those good pulls, it changes your roster. Like I think I said back in June, for me it was Awakening Apocalypse, putting that to rank 3, Doctor Doom and Doctor Doom Awakened in the same month, and then putting it up to 175 signature. And then a few other champions that I'm looking to then restructure. The buffs came in, and that's my 6-star side of things. My 5 stars, not really too fussed about, because now I've got a breadth that kind of covers those things. Kingslayer, is there anything that you're looking to acquire champion-wise, whether 6-star or 5-star? Anyone in particular that's standing out, or multiple champions standing out to you want to acquire at the moment?
I would really like Immoral Abomination. He is a character. I don't have him as a 5-star or a 6-star.
Same here. He's quality. That is definitely a champion that I'd like to get. I think apart from like very early on when he was released, I was just like, I'm not quite sure the look of this guy. And then when I got to like play about with him, I was like, do you know what? I do really enjoy him. And as the months have gone on, I'm like, God, I really wouldn't mind.
I've been a bit of a holdout on him because he is so gross. But I'm a convert after last week's Summer of Pain fight, because he annihilates that Mysterio.
Oh, for sure.
It's very satisfying once you get into his rotation.
Yeah. Right, I think it's time to move on and talk about side quests. And I've jumped around a little bit on our schedule, but I kind of think it's something good to talk about. I enjoy the concept. I think I enjoy the concept more because Kabam let us know that we were gonna have some extra objectives, which is nice. Kingslayer, what's your thoughts on the side quest?
I've just done one path of the legendary difficulty. It wasn't hard. It was fine difficulty wise, and I used Gwenpool for the final fight for the platinum pool thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's perfect. Just to kind of do that, and get down to either do the last fight with a champion that's of high rarity, or kind of like bring Hercules down to a certain amount of health, like a smaller health, and then finish it off with like a 4-star version or something. So that's definitely the way to go. What are we thinking on time frame on this? Because a lot of the time with the side events, with these going back to was it Herald of Galactus was like a 25-minute per orb spend. Are we feeling that Kabam are getting the time down on these things so they're a bit more kind of quick to grind out?
I haven't run it yet, so I'll let you guys talk about that. Yeah.
It wasn't too long. It was fine, I think.
Yeah, I think I clocked it down at about 10, 15 mins, especially the first run. I can imagine if I do multiple runs, it'll probably kind of like get an idea of like pacing to it, because it is 10 fights. So if you've got like rank 3 6-stars, then it will be kind of like easier to go through. The structure of it, Dan. What do you think? What are your thoughts on the structure?
So I like the structure in that it's familiar, and the big thing for me is we're not doing some weird monotonous side grind to get the key to play the side quest. It's just a calendar, like that Shang-Chi one.
The objectives.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
Like those objectives, like the 5 levels of objectives to get the key to run the path, like that was a little much for me. I like this one calendar. We know how many entries we're getting. Just play your hardest difficulty level. It's pretty straightforward. Do you want shards? Do you want rank up materials? You've got the ability to choose. It seems like a pretty simple one to understand. Yeah. And as we know, like that's a huge key with the side quests. It's just like, all right, like what's the process? How many steps to it are there? And this one seems to have minimal steps in that you just log in, you automatically get your entry fee, and then just play it when you feel like it. And you should play the hardest one you can. Play the shards one if you want the shards, and play the the fragments one if you want the fragments. And as long as you do all the fights, you're gonna hit all those milestones in the solo event, and you're gonna be a happy gamer.
Yeah. For sure. I think that has covered a lot of what's going on in the game. I'm just trying to think if there's anything more like in the objectives. I don't think there is. I think that's pretty much covered a lot of the subject matter. Is there anything from you, Dan, that you want to cover and talk about?
No, I mean it's been an interesting week. Certainly, I didn't see the cancellation of the Alliance War season.
No, that didn't see that
coming. That was one of those things that seemed to develop very quickly a few days ago.
I think it's probably the quickest compensation package that's ever gone out to players.
Yeah, you got to give them credit on that. They reacted quickly on the compensation. So a lot of times it seems like there's a lot of frustration on the forums about like, when is this coming? And like, some of it is a little, some of it's a little much, and it's like, all right, they can only move so fast. But this was very fast.
Yeah.
I just woke up to season rewards and I was like, what's the season? Oh,
you're like, what happened?
Yeah, I think Em even said to me like, I've not even logged in game for the last 7 days. What's going on? Why have I got 6-star shards? And I went, we've had a bug or an issue. And she was like, all right, okay, that's fine. So she said, she's I don't think she's participated in an alliance war for the last 2 years. And she just logged on today like, oh, did I do alliance wars? Like, no, you didn't. There was a bug. You got some free 6-star shards. So that was fun for her.
Yeah, I think they removed the requirement to actually have played a war this season. So as long as you ended the season in an alliance, you were going to get that alliance's reward. So my mini alliance, we actually hit Silver 1 for the first time, and everyone was very excited about their best rewards ever because the rewards were buffed for this season too. So buffed rewards for half the work.
Yeah, for sure.
Hard to complain about that.
Exactly. So there we go. We've covered a lot of stuff in game. We're now going to talk about our Loki dissection and review. Kingslayer, thank you very much for coming on the podcast. And just go and check out Kingslayer's channel. It's in the links in the bio, descriptions or whatnot, as well on Twitter. I'll put a link to Kingslayer's Twitter. Thank you for coming on the show, Kingslayer.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
No problem. Right, Dan, we have got to talk about Loki episode 5. We're drawing to an end, and my God, what an end it's going to be, depending on what could happen.
Yeah, wow. What? I mean, just 2 haymaker episodes.
Yeah.
In a row. I mean, this was as out there as we've ever gotten in the Marvel universe. And episode 5, Journey into Mystery, a great callback to Marvel Comics. I don't know I wonder if I'd have to look this up if Loki first appeared in Journey into Mystery, and that might be a callback. But yeah, what a wild episode! More Loki variants than you can shake a stick at. Rich, who won your heart? Who was your favorite Loki variant of the week?
I really don't know, because when I'm watching it, I'm thinking like, who's going to turn on one another? I'm like, he's going to turn on him. He's going to turn on him. He's going to turn. Richard E. Grant's classic Loki was nice. I think this is the biggest thing of like the Lokis that have arrived there. They're kind of most of them do sit in the quintessential Loki typecast, but there are some Lokis out there that don't want to be part of it. Alligator Loki, Classic Loki, and Kid Loki, and Tom Hiddleston Loki are kind of like of the thinking of like they've had enough of the way that they are being typecast and want to be their own loyal Loki, good Loki kind of type thing, and that loyalty is kind of seen in the end. But yeah, like, it's just so surprising, isn't it? Like, oh, there's another Tom Hiddleston Loki.
Yeah, and we all got fooled, right? Because the President Loki is Tom Hiddleston, but it wasn't our Tom Hiddleston Loki.
Yeah,
which I think we were all expecting.
Yeah.
So they definitely had a little misdirection there, which was a lot of fun. I mean, I think there was just so much joy in that fight scene with our Tom Hiddleston Loki, just sort of sashaying his way through the chaos.
Yeah.
that I quite enjoyed that, and I did look it up. Yes, Loki did first appear in Journey into Mystery, way back in 1962. So that is a callback to his first appearances in Marvel Comics. Yeah, I think we kind of had these two paths that came together right at the end of episode 4. Obviously, our Loki, Tom Hiddleston Loki, and Sylvie were separated when Loki was purged. Back at the TVA, Sylvie still working her angles. Her and Ravonna Renslayer trying to out trick each other. And then she, of course, takes the leap of faith and Sylvie purges herself. We get reunited with our boy Mobius.
Yes.
He's still alive.
In a pizza car.
Driving by the Thanos helicopter. Like all sorts of craziness there. And we've got this giant space cloud monster thingy that's devouring everything. Loki's gonna fight it. Sylvie's gonna enchant it. My only complaint about this episode is that it didn't immediately go into episode 6.
Yes, they kind of left it on the perfect cliffhanger to go like, what happened?
They did. I so badly wanted another 90 seconds of this episode. Who is on the other side of that portal?
Even the build up of the Loki stuff, because there's so many little Easter eggs and things from like there's a destruction of a Stark Tower there. There was Frog Thor. You're pausing now.
Wait, did I miss?
Yeah,
Frog
you missed
Thor?
Frog Thor.
Where was?
There was a Mjolnir hammer, and he was jumping up to it. He was in a little glass jar.
Oh, in the like Loki hideout cave?
Yeah, as it went down, it was there. There was these loads of like little things. Someone even said that there was a nod to I can't remember what his full name is. Darren. No, it's Darren Cross and the Yellow Jacket. But I don't
Yellow
know,
Jacket. Okay.
I don't know 100% like where that was to a degree. And the whole kind of thing. But there was just like there's just so many little things here and there with it. But those little jokes as well. There was boastful Loki getting his comeuppance. Man, I honestly I don't know where this episode is going to end. I mean, we talked about like trying to get predictions. Who's running? Dan, who the hell's running the TVA?
I mean, I feel like they want us to think it's Kang.
Yeah.
But that it seems like it's rarely the obvious result with these hidden reveals in the Marvel shows now. So like that's I don't know. It seems like they're trying to set up Kang as the big bad for the Avengers. We know he's been cast. We don't know when we're gonna see him. So like I guess I don't have a backup option if it's not Kang. If it's not Kang, I'm gonna be very surprised in that I don't have an option B. Yeah,
the thing that's going to be, as I said, like my worst fear, my logical, and my out there. So my worst fear is the what did I say? Like the Mandarin Iron Man 3 effect. Like it's like some dude in kind of like all this kind of technology being a dick or something just because he can, or thinks just like I just run this, I just pull the buttons, levers. Yeah. My hope is that it would be Kang, there for some reason. Something that was mentioned, and I don't know if it's going to be touched upon again. Is like I can't remember the name of the agent working for the TVA, who said about that ship, the ship that can travel to the void or from the void, this kind of like special kind of ship. Will it indeed exist by the end of it? Is she going to get them? Is it there in the void? But Kang possibly. My out there theory is that it's going to be either something completely ridiculous, like one of the Watchers who even though they're not meant to intervene with what goes on, in some ways intervene to a degree, but not completely to a degree of kind of like what goes on in the various timelines and loops. We haven't seen the Watchers and anything. What if has been teased that the Watchers have some kind of like implementation in that? We've not seen it proper MCU. So I don't know, Dan. Anything can really happen. I don't know. Is that
I mean, I guess it's possible that they could bring in some sort of galactic entity like Eternity or someone.
Yes.
So I mean there's certainly possibilities out there. I don't know if there's an elder of the universe out there that sort of lines up with this, but we're talking about timelines. Like Kang is, he's when I think about Avengers and time travel, Kang is the guy.
Yeah.
So I think the best bet is still that Kang has some role in this.
Yeah, like he could be the person that creates these Nexus events.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be hopping through time, like conquering different realities, right? So like maybe he's covering his own tracks. Like the TVA is like his version of damage control.
Yeah.
just covering up all his mistakes or whatever the fallout is. So I don't know. I'm super excited. Last week they gave us the nice out in the post credit scene. I was hoping for a post credit scene in this one. We didn't get one. But the anticipation level is high, and next week, huge week for us talking Marvel in the podcast, because we've got the final episode of Loki, and Black Widow is finally coming out for reals. You can see it in a theater, or you can watch it at home on Disney Plus. Are you going to go out to the theater, or are you going to get it at home? What are you thinking?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to splash out for it. I got to be honest, I've already read the plot for it, so shouldn't I have done that? Probably not. But I kind of thought I wanted to give it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go into it because I think maybe say that for a podcast. Are you going to go out and watch it?
I think I'm gonna go out. I haven't been to a movie in a long time. I can't remember what the last movie I saw in the theaters was at this point.
Well, maybe that's what we do.
I think this may be time to go for it.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do, and I'll go to the cinema and watch it. Even though I said I'm not going to give anything away. I'm going to talk about opinions until you've seen it and we've done the podcast to discuss it. But do you know what? Anything can really happen with the end of Loki. Right. It could even be a case of going like. Doctor Strange has decided to create some sort of project, like quickly act on No, that's terrible theory. I don't want to go to that house and go
I don't think. Well, we got to remember it's still. He doesn't have the time stone.
No.
In this current timeline, it's still the ancient one.
So. Yeah,
because it's still technically 2012. I know they've been hopping through time, but it's still look, it has been days, weeks, months. He's not exactly sure since New York, but I unless they're going to do something crazy to like suddenly catch things up or.
Well, the things are so like batshit crazy with stuff saying that if you've got Doctor Strange in one reality, but then is it a case that the 2023 version of Doctor Strange will be aware of what is going on with TVA. If he's aware of and some reason links up with Spider-Man, who we assume is not in his same universe, then is he aware of multiple universes, or is the one in the Spider-Man universe a different one because he dresses differently? Is this 616? God damn it! This is the problem that Marvel could go down the rabbit hole with, going like, oh yeah, well everything's explained fine. It's just a different version, a different universe of Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. And you'd just be like, oh, dude, what?
Oh my goodness! I think we're gonna have to leave it there, or we're gonna give ourselves a headache trying to run through all these variants and possible scenarios. So, Rich, what are you up to this week?
Well, I think I've got about 2 or 3 more videos about this month's quests and stuff. I think I'm done when it comes to the Summoner event, so the resort and the camp. I'm done with that one. Got maybe 1 video to do at the side event, maybe a couple more to do with other stuff, but then I'm going to then think about what I'm doing for Marvel Future Revolution, which we haven't talked about this week because we wanted to keep it very much kind of like away from that, and maybe next week we'll talk about it. Especially because there's not a huge amount going on with it. But Yeah, probably just a few more guides. What are you up to?
Yeah, I'm gonna work on a variant 6 guide. Working my way through that. I've actually got quite a few quests that I've played through that I haven't had a chance to write guides on. So I'm probably gonna write guides and wait for this parry bug to get fixed.
Fantastic. Right, that has been a podcast. Thanks very much to our special guest, Kingslayer. And obviously, you can catch Dan, as we said, at www.frontlinemcoc.home.blog and also on Twitter at frontlinemcoc. Make sure to go and follow him because he is so close to getting 3,000 followers. And yeah, you can check out Kingslayer in the bio. We're available, as I said, on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and iTunes. And I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.